fucking lighting. It cuts my ears off. And my head doesn't look fucking straight. You know, who needs a fucking straight head? What are you going to do? I'll put my head in a vice. That'll straighten it out. Yeah. So some so I was thinking people so there's the term Sarms goblins, and I was thinking like that's an insult to goblins because goblins aren't all that bad. They just they got a bad rap in fantasy. Maybe some fantasy makes them look a little uglier than others, but Sarms are actually for Wiggers, and so Wigger is the lowest life form, and so yeah, the saying that they're goblins, that's an insult. And well, basically, the people that use it are just they don't want to they don't want to inject steroids, which are cheaper and safer, in my opinion. Well, it's not my opinion that they're cheaper because they know that these kids will spend all of their money that they got working at Wendy's or whatever, their paycheck from Wendy's or Home Depot. They spend it all on their what the fuck, their LGD 4033, Rad 140, YK11. I took that one for a cycle, and there's like literature behind it that it can inhibit myostatin, but I don't know. Creatine's probably stronger for that. Apparently creatine monohydrate can lower myostatin. That'd probably be better. That's definitely safer. But I was taking 10 milligrams a day for 2 months, I think. Yeah. I don't know if that helped at all. It's hard to say if it actually helps because that same cycle I was taking 2,800 milligrams of test per week for the last like five weeks, I think. So when you're taking a shitload of things, it's hard to know what the hell is if a small thing is helping. But what I know for sure is that Tren and Test. Oh shit, Tren and Test work pretty freaking good. Here we go. Yeah, that's actually those are the pearly gates behind me. It makes me think of Bill and Ted, and Bill and Ted 2 when they go to heaven. And they get stationed to help them build their robots and defeat evil Bill and Ted. So he's like, oh, dude, if I die, if you die, can I have your Megadeth collection? And he's like, yeah, sure, dude. And they're already dead and they're in hell because they go to hell in that one too. And then they manage to escape. They escape death by beating him in Battleship. Well, actually, they beat him in a bunch of different games. They play Twister, and they also give him a Melvin, that's the only time which is a wedgie. I didn't know that anyone called it a wedgie ever, but maybe it's a California thing. And frankly, if you were in San Dimas for one day, and if you were a historical figure and you were in San Dimas for one day, where would you go? Write down in the comments, okay? Yeah, so what the hell was my point? Oh yeah. So Sarms, yeah. Well, first of all, I mean the guys that are taking them shouldn't be using anything at all. You don't even. Maybe I like making them. Maybe it's like beating a dead horse. But I mean, if you barely even fucking work out, if you don't bench 225, you're gonna use fucking steroids. You're not even like most. Pretty much everyone who uses steroids that early isn't training right in the first place. Most people who use steroids aren't even training right. If you're doing like pump workouts and shit, hell, what the hell's wrong with you? Yeah. But yeah, the only I should make a video. It's like what steroids are best for strength. Well, basically the bodybuilding. I don't even know why you do that. You're going to go on stage like a silly Billy, take your clothes off, flex for men. To each his own. To each his own. Maybe you're into that. That's whatever. Look at my head. I got a banana fucking head going. Test Tren. That's, there you go. I could have made the video. I could have just said, Sarms are for Wiggers, Test Tren. And that would have taken 10 seconds. But yeah. Tren is obviously only for short-term use. I remember people. I know this guy who's. Oh, there's people who've done longer than this. I remember Leo in Longevity said that one of his viewers was using trenbolone for 3 years because his viewer was trying to mitigate he was taking that instead of using orals intermittently to reduce liver stress, but Tren's still very stressful on the liver, and just because it doesn't do the first pass to the liver, or it doesn't do as much damage to the liver because it's not taken orally, it's injected, right? Although apparently you can take Tren orally. It doesn't get destroyed by your stomach acid, or you could be like if you like swish it around your mouth, you could absorb it through the salivary glands. I suppose you could do that with maybe you could do that with other things, but that would just be a huge waste of money. You put like 1 milliliter, 250 milligrams of test in your mouth. That'd be a huge waste of money. And lost a fucking plot. Yeah, he says the guy took it for 3 years and he ended up getting liver cancer. I know another guy recently. Well, my brother knows him as well. He was taking Tren for a whole year. I've taken a lot. Maybe I shouldn't even like judge. I can't really judge people on them taking excessive dosages. It's mostly just like if you don't even work, if you're not even a weightlifter and you're taking steroids, or you're under the age of. I wouldn't even take them until you're fully developed. This is what I would do. Okay, even though I didn't take anything until I was almost 28 years old. I wouldn't take steroids until I was, and this isn't an endorsement, but this is my opinion. This is what I would do. And if I could go back in time, I wouldn't take them before 25 because your brain's still developing, and who knows what sort of, especially trenbolone or decadurabolin. Who knows what the hell if that might kind of affect your brain development. And then you also have guys take steroids when they're 16 or 17. There was a skit on the More Dates More Plates featured, and he took Tren. I think he was 14, and it's the normal thing where it's like some skinny kid, but he starts getting really lean because he took Tren, and then he tells the whole internet about it. And I was thinking about let's see if I can show this. I can't show this. Pretend this is anything on. Okay, so pretend this is a phone. Okay, so this is a TikTok. Okay, it's some like wigger, 16-year-old wigger, and he's talking about his Sarms stack. He's like, okay, a Radwin 40, 20 milligrams a day, two drops, 20 milligrams a day. MK677, 15 milligrams per day before bed because it helps with sleep. And I also take. They got to use 2 Sarms, and then they got to use MK677. MK677 is not good for it's really bad for long-term use because it makes you insulin resistant. It'll be so they'll use Rad 140, and then they'll use LD. I think it's LGD 4033. So yeah, just do that, and then he's got this stupid thing here, stupid hair. I'm actually just coping. Like, so it's leveling, right? So you gotta tear down people with a full head of hair because I have this fucking Dracula haircut. Without I don't have the boobs like Gary Oldman, but I've got the universal Dracula haircut. Bela Lugosi, yeah, and yeah, and then for like orals, yeah, people are taking them. What are you gonna do? That's just the videos that I've seen on YouTube of. It's usually like More Plates More Dates or somebody they show, or with Shredded Sports Science or somebody. I don't tune into his stuff too often because he's one of these. If their whole content is like just talking about how it's like talking about like fake natties or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, or they're hopping on like the Sam's Who Like Hate bandwagon or something like that, or it's like steroids ruin lives. Well, I suppose they could. So if you read some of these stories, it's like it's like some guy who's like taking Tren and D-ball and he murdered his girlfriend. It makes him like he's paranoid and then also aggressive. I don't I don't know about that. I took some niacin. Niacin has this distinct flavor, and it's kind of like a weird smokiness. It's hard to explain. Um, yeah, but and let's talk about orals. Okay, might as well. Oh yeah, yeah. We'll do. I was thinking, people who make videos, it's like best compounds for strength, best for bodybuilding. They're kind of like the same for both, because one would just be more like the bodybuilding off-season drugs, which would be test. And I wouldn't take Deca. Deca's just trash. And people say there's like a synergy between the two. Um, if I wanted to take like 500 milligrams of test and 500 milligrams of Deca, I would just take 1 gram of test. Because then when you take Deca, you have to consider like extra aromatization, or upregulates your estrogen receptors, and so that could make you get gynecomastia more easily. Trash. NPP, trash. What the hell's Primobolan? I mean, if you have a lot of money, yeah, sure. Masteron, trash. The hell else? Mint, trash. What the heck else? What other injectables are there? There's and then talking about what ester of testosterone you should use. I mean, if you got whatever one is, if you get gear that's high quality, it doesn't really matter. Although the longer esters are better, because you don't. Let's say you want to do 250 milligrams of test. You have to shoot 2.5 cc's if you're using propionate, and then that's just 1 cc of test E or test cypionate. Test 400, I don't recommend that, because that has more solvents in it, and that can mess you up. Could even out my hairline. See, if I do this, look at that. Look at that. There's the fucking hack right there. Spreading it thin. What else? Some guy commented on my deadlift from a while back, my 801 for 2, and he's like, when you pick up all the grocery or all the shopping bags. In terms of orals, because most of those Sarms are either droppers, which are terrible. Don't use a fucking dropper. Because assuming the pill is dosed within, let's say it's 20 milligrams or something, it's probably 19 to 21 if it's a decent lab. Okay, but the droppers, are you measuring like the volume of that, or like the height inside the vial each time you take it? That's one of the things I don't like about iodine, is that, well, I suppose you could get iodine capsules, but iodine is in dropper form. And so, yeah, they take these orals, pills, and whatever. But in terms of orals, Anadrol, D-bol, Anavar, Turinabol is apparently okay, but why would you take a Turinabol and not just take Anavar? That's just a... And then another thing is yeah. Or then there's Winstrol. Trash. Some of the bodybuilding stuff is it's the same as, if in the off season, it's the same as the strength stuff, but then in the preps, when you're doing when you're cutting for the show, then you're just adding in things that'll help you retain more muscle. So you're basically just taking more gear and then trying to stay more dry. So you could be taking more tests, but then taking more aromatase inhibitors. But it's generally a Primobolan, because Primobolan is a reverse binding aromatase inhibitor, or Masteron. And then Trenbolone makes you just retain as much muscle as possible, because you're obviously in a deficit. It also makes your muscles rock fucking solid. That's it's pretty tempting, because you have rock solid muscles and you're stronger. And then the injectable Winstrol, that makes your skin thinner. So it's an appearance thing. It will make you stronger too, but I wouldn't take that for strength. Yeah, and then what the fuck else? Then people take, there's other non-steroidal things. They take stimulants and whatever. Yeah, and growth hormone is the most overrated thing. At least, even if you're getting the real shit, okay? Because lots of it's the Chinese stuff that who knows what the fuck that is. It's that's not worth the money. Yeah, see, I don't want it. If I had real growth hormone, my nose would be this fucking big. There's something that Dallas McCarver had. and lots of guys have. Nick Walker has it. It's where the my nose is already huge, so I don't know. It might have gotten like 5% bigger from taking steroids because apparently it's from like prolonged mTOR activation. Yeah, that's what longevity said. And so he had a picture of Dobbs McCarver when he first came onto the scene, and then he had like a normal sized nose, and then at the end his nose was like this wide. And Nick Walker's like that too now. Well, the thing is, people say your nose never stops growing, so that's not good that's not good news for me. But what are you gonna do? Get a nose job? You'd be like, yeah, Michael Jackson, or there's the nose jobs to me are all the same. Or at least the one my brother he picks these out. I had no idea that these sorts of things were even. This is the nose job look. Apparently, it's a skinny bridge. You have a perfectly straight, skinny bridge, and then lots of the times your nose kind of comes up. It's like a ski slope where it's kind of comes up a little bit. That's what he. That's the nose job look. At least that's the way that lots of these girls. That's the way they get it. But yeah, yeah, rhinoplasty. I wonder how they came up with that fucking name.